teddy bear's fuzzy, but it also gives you comfort, familiarity, warmth, or like shows that there's a part of the outside world that you can embrace and feel connection and relationship to, but it's fuzzy, you know? Yeah. Actually, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I won't look at that. I'll think of something else. When I twirl my hair with my fingers, I don't know what's going on with the finger and the hair until I realize it, and then I notice that it's a very infinite experience and continues on and is very soft and covers all the different parts of the hand, like the outside section, and then the sides are inside of my fingers, and it just goes on and on. Things can be left without understanding why something is happening or someone's doing something. It's not something to be understood and understand, but just to accept. Unhindered magic, to check in and see what's really something that I'm projecting. Collectively, we can feel united that we're all absolutely different. Seeing that be justified as like an actual beautiful function in life, like that actually an awareness, because it's making awareness for the humanness in all of us. Oh wow, there's so much in me that just gets like recognized and released and explored. I like the breeze a lot. I just generally love the wind and will be so over the moon when it's a windy day, especially after a few still days, because I get to feel myself without any person around me. The universe or the world saying, "Ah, you're here, so this is your skin and this is your little hairs." And I think that sort of stimulation and that sort of stimming is like something that grounds me or lifts me, maybe.
It is a repetitive motion that makes you feel better and calmer. It can be really unconscious, and it just happens. And it's not until someone pulls you up on it that you're like, maybe. They're not doing it. It's awkward. It's motion. It's tactile. It's just a sense of normality when it's happening. It's where it's nicest. It's really hard to tell because all brains are different. So, I mean, maybe they wouldn't get the same satisfaction and joy out of it, but maybe they would. Maybe they would feel calmer. Maybe they would enjoy the distraction and something in the background to do. It is many, many things, and it covers such a range and such diversity, and yet there's these little things that are in common as well. I don't think people can describe. It's not a singularity. It's multiple things with little things that collide in common. It makes you think, because you've processed it one way and they've processed another, and you're like, that's also right, but it's very different. And I love that kind of clash of thought, and it creates conversation. Hello, person with twisty watch. You just sit there and I'm just going to do this for a while. Click, 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 click. I'm like, this is satisfying and wonderful, and they just look at me.
Well, I just did one then, so quite possibly it's just a way of reconnecting. Fidgeting kind of movement or strange movement. It just makes me feel more like how it makes me realize that the world is so much bigger than just my own brain and my own self, and someone's experiences could be of the same thing, could be wildly different to my own.
My favourite things are colours, so it's something, and sound.
So it's something that happens in my brain where I finally feel relaxed. So maybe it's a bit like the feeling of being in the ocean, to feel relaxed and happy in the moment. Another rhythm or felt sense of the world. When I was dressed as the hungry caterpillar and I was with someone who hadn't seen me in their world before, and imagine if we allowed ourselves to do that, to do whatever it is that feels good and safe. Where some things that make sense to other people don't make sense, and some things that don't make sense to other people make the most sense in the world.
And with visual stims, I think they're more like, they bring me into like happy place. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like, that's really nice. I'm trying to get myself jazzed. We're a little bit bigger than our bodies. We can break certain rules of, you know, when actually you're like a bunch of nerves. The bass was like filling up my body, and like the synths were kind of giving me all these sensations all over, and I just felt like really free and really peaceful and ecstatic at the same time. Yeah, there's one that I do to soothe, and it is when I'm doing it, I'm thinking about patting my dog. It makes me think of like soft things, and also my skin feels soft and it feels like soothing. And maybe it also gives me like tingly feelings. It's nice. It's lots of things. Sometimes I think about it as like being more connected to everything around me. And so I think about it as like an expanded awareness, an expansion of like self. And like maybe we understand some things that, and sometimes that can be really overwhelming, but also a lot of the time it can just be like super magic. You can just see their whole like self kind of expanding in front of you. I don't really understand it because it's so nice to connect.
When I flail my arms and hands, it feels like everything is jelly. But it's held by the bones and the structure of the arms, and it's a really nice, it's fun to play with the rigidity of everything, and making that conscious could maybe make things easier for people, easier to process things in their daily hectic life. And it just creates a deeper connection for sharing and collaborating on whether that be art or science or any type of social project. I'll go a bit too hard and I'll hit my hands on a wall and I think I'll break my finger, and I'll jump and I'll hit my toes and I'll accidentally hurt myself. Beautiful unknown thing that gives me limitless creative ideas and energy and ways to understand the world. It's a way of the mind extending to the body, so emotions can be processed through the body, and it creates a nice back and forth or a feedback loop.
It externalizes that brain on the inside into the external process of like figuring out things through touch or through kind of movement. Knowledge of the body is like one big brain, and there not being like an end to the brain, but it actually being something that through the kind of movements that the body being a part of the brain, and of a way in which, yeah, we're this one big kind of unit that is working together to create a person. An ability to really focus on kind of your own map, and words like parallel play, being in the same space without expecting kind of explicit socialization, a kind of way in which the world understands itself. Or in our heads there's like a lot of processes going on, there's a lot of movement, intonation that helps you process this repetitive hum that comes from the very being of something. That comes to mind for me is very vocal. I get very passionate and kind of in a trance When I'm really in the flow of it, it feels like any movement connects to the next movement and becomes this big pattern and this big ethereal kind of wobbly thing. Do a lot with my hands, and I'm very steady beat to get time through my body, to get my body through time.
That little reset, like a ticking of a clock feeling, it's going in, it's not going out. A wholehearted embracing of an idea or thought or experience or bodily sensation, which I just find quite rapturous, because the experience, as I understand it from how it's explained to me, is that revealing of layers all of the time of what is assumed and what is expected and what is invisible and what is very clear. Also understanding of the absurdity of the social constructs we have, and through that is such humour, such excellent humour. It's a feeling of the in and the out being slowed down and not being interrupted, a sense of putting some edges back up. Sort of consonance, like articulation between the two sides of my body. It's normally done with fingertips on thumb or tongue or teeth or toes wiggling. The texture that you feel comfortable within you has been met. Body in sense, soulful honesty, because people are doing what they need to do to be in a space. The air is more buzzy, things feel more expansive, the room feels happier. There's a lightness to the air molecules, a feeling of infinity, real stillness but expansiveness, and time has been paused and stretched, and the vibrations are flowing all through me. Space holder connected to me.